Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to share your thoughts on what you think about this video. Now in today's video, we're going to be discussing about a critical topic that has sparked a lot of debate and conversation. Now recently, a palm color man in an interview made a statement that has raised eyebrows, saying he's not raising black children but just children. Now I remember sharing this video a few days ago where his fellow palm color man was asking to say, how does he make his black children understand that his palm color privilege does not extend to them? Well, a black sister responded with a video of her own, sharing her concerns and valid points about the implications of this statement. Unfortunately, many palm color people quickly labeled her as R to the cis without fully listening to her argument. Now, in this video, we are going to break down the sister's points and explore the importance of acknowledging and understanding the racial and cultural identity of black children. We'll also discuss how ignoring this identity can lead to neglecting the unique experiences and challenges black children face in America. Now, in case you missed the video that a sister is talking about, I'm going to play it right after her video. We'll also examine the limitations of the I don't see color approach and how it can perpetuate harmful color blindness. With that said, let's take a look at the videos. I will be right back.
Why do white people adopt black children? It's a real question for me. Why do white people adopt black children and then say things like, I'm not raising black children, I'm raising children? Oh, are you? So this is UFC fighter Michael Chandler, and this is his wife. They've adopted 2 black children, and he recently did an interview where he stated he's not raising black children. He's raising children. And while I understand that he thinks that he means well by creating this piece of, I don't see color, let me tell you why that's a problem. Even though you claim that you and your wife don't see color, the world does. This is America. And so when those children look at you, there's going to be this can be problematic because it ignores the racial and cultural identity of the child. By not acknowledging the child's racial background, you're going to inadvertently neglect certain aspects of their identity, which is black. You're going to neglect their experiences. You're going to neglect what they may go through when they get out in the real world, because they will not be treated like you. So when you say that you're not raising black children, you're only raising children, how are you going to explain to them when they get treated different in the schools that you put them in, when they get treated different out in society, when they get treated different in the workplace? How are you going to explain that to them? Is race going to come up then? Another reason why I don't understand why white people adopt black children is because a lot of times white people are not around a lot of black people, right? And so you're only going to have these black children around other white people. And I'm just assuming here, I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying for the most part, whenever we see white celebrities adopt black children, they have them within their group of friends, right? All white people. When they're not just, even though you're raising them, you want to expose them to their own culture. Do you have any black friends? Is there any type of cultural significance you can give these children? Any shows, any areas, any schools, anything to show them somebody who looks like them and not just like you? When these children grow up, or what we see most of the time, when these children end up growing up, they feel lost in the world and they don't know where they fit in. Because on one side of the spectrum, you really don't fit in with the black population because you've been raised as white, even though you are black. Then on the other side of the spectrum, you're around all these white people and they don't 100% accept you because at the end of the day, you're black. So with all of these complexities, why would you not acknowledge or raise your children as black children to prepare them the best that you can in the world? This I don't see color mentality does more harm than good. Because while you claim you don't see color, we know you do. And that's not a bad thing. That's not to say that anybody's racist or anything like that. But when people claim that they don't see color, you do, because you're not blind. Everybody sees color. I'm looking at this picture right here and I see a white wife and a white husband and black children. So everybody sees color. And guess what? When they go out in the world is also going to see color. So I hope all the backlash that you've been getting for that interview that you did will enlighten you and your wife a little bit to open up your mind and give these children the best upbringing, because we know monetarily you can. We know monetarily you're going to give them the best life that they can have. They probably going to go to the best schools, best food, best area. That's all fine and dandy. But make sure you don't slip on that mental health. Because by raising them as not black children is going to psychologically mess them up.
I'm not raising black children. I'm raising children. And whether you are black or you are white, no matter what race that you are, there are certain things about being a man and being a good man when it comes to character and integrity and safeguarding the helpless and sticking up for those who need it and being a good man of reputation. None of that has to do with skin color. Everything has to do with the character of the man. Probably not an answer that some people would say is important, but that's where the world has gone, where we think that the most important thing about us is our skin color or our gender or our political affiliation or all these different identity politics or the identities that we put on each other, when really we're just human beings on this earth. And there are certain things about being a good person that transcend skin color and age and sex and religion and all of those different things.
I love that answer.
I had a question. Why are there so many black children that need to be adopted? My second question is, why do you care who adopts them and what color they are, as long as they love that child and raise them right? And lastly, I see color. I see color. But when I see a little baby, I don't go, oh, look at that little white baby or look at that little black baby. These are babies. They haven't been filled with ignorance yet. Let them babies be babies and grow up to be good people.
Wow, this video really got to me. But for clarity, before I get into it, hi, my name is Claire. Let me show you a photo of what my family looks like. So here is my husband and I. These are my parents. This is my beautiful sister-in-law and my brother. And the one right here, that's my little brother, Cooper. And the reason why I'm bringing him up is because if you could not tell, he is adopted. And if you cannot tell, it's a transracial adoption. So naturally, this post did get to me, but I want to answer it through kind of a lens of somebody who is the sister of a transracial adoptee. And for us, the reason why we adopted someone outside of our race was because there was a little kid that needed a loving home, and we did not give a fuck if he came out purple. We wanted to give him a loving home. I have never, ever cared that my brother was a different skin tone than me, but for some reason strangers love to give an input on what is wrong with my family dynamic. I cannot tell you the amount of times in my life that I have had older women, older men, younger men, whatever, walk up and tell me that my little brother should be raised by his biological parents. I don't need to tell you why his biological parents aren't fit to raise him, because it's not my business. That's his story. But I cannot tell you how disrespectful that is, because I can promise you, if his parents were fit to have him, the state would not have taken him away, and that is all I have to say about that. But he is 100% safer and better being adopted at 8 months old into a loving family that happens to be white than he would have ever been staying in the foster care system, as long as he probably would have stayed in it. Because the sad truth is, children do not get adopted at a fast enough rate, especially children of color in the system. So for you to question why white people want to adopt children in the system that are not the same color as them, it is because those are the children in the system. When we are filling out our foster care paperwork, we selected that we are open to any and every race that needs us, because that is what every foster parent should do. In my opinion, if you are only willing to foster children in your race, you should not be a foster parent. In my opinion, if you are only willing to adopt a child that looks just like you, maybe you shouldn't be looking into adopting right now, because there's some issues that you need to unpack. For you to say, why are white people adopting black children? It is not a white people adopting black children issue. It is not an issue of us specifically picking out one race of person that we want. No, it is, we are trying to help who we can. He fell into our lives and we will never turn our backs on him, ever. I don't care what his race is. That is irrelevant. He is my brother. And at the end of the day, children need loving homes, and whoever is willing to take them in and provide a safe and loving home, in my eyes, they're the perfect fit. It does not matter what they look like. Family is not just about looks. And I don't even want to say it, but the amount of people that have told me to return him, I can guarantee you it is not the demographic that you would assume it is. I've had people follow me home before from the park with my little brother when I was 13 and he was 1. I had a woman follow me home telling me that we need to return him because he would be better off raised in the system by black people, so that way he can learn his own culture than he would have been adopted and loved and taken care of properly. I'm telling you, we make sure that he gets culture. Could we do a better job? Probably. Everyone can do a better job at everything. But I fully embrace him and exploring that side of him, and I fully want him to have that culture. My parents have worked very hard to try to give him role models that he can look at in our family and outside of our family, ones that match him and ones that don't, because life is about the type of person you are and not what you look like. That's it. That is all that matters when you're adopting, is whether you have home and room. That's it. I don't care about anything else.
I normally like to stay out of shit like this because like it gets really convoluted, and I'm white, so of course my opinion's like null and void. But God made the human race. There's only one race. It's the human race. We are all different colors because we were made all around the world, and our skin reacts differently to the sun. Like somebody in like Ireland, they're super white, a lot whiter than me. Like people, we are one race. One race, the human race. Stop making it about color. Like, they adopted 2 black children because they needed to be adopted. They needed love. And that's all you need in life, is love, support. Like, give me a break. Jesus, help us all.
I just want to start this video off by saying, I'm sure the woman that originally made this video, she meant no harm. She was just asking a question. Questions are meant to be answered. And I'm here to answer from my perspective. I'm a Caucasian male. We've adopted 2 African American children. I can tell you that the day that we received the call that these 2 beautiful little babies had been born, we didn't ask what the color of their skin was. We asked if they had a name and if they were going to be okay. And they said they will be. And we said, you're damn right they will be. And they are. And they always will be. They are living and learning and laughing and growing, giving the best hugs. They know they're African American. They also know I'm Caucasian. But most importantly, they know they are loved, and they always will be. You know, our family has been blessed to be beautifully blended, and I thank the good Lord for that. As I pray, as they grow, they can help the world outgrow all this racism and hatred that has divided us for so long. Love is what brought us together. Love. You know, family is defined by DNA. Family is defined by love and loyalty. And I love them, and I always will, and I will always be loyal to them. I am their daddy, and they are my children, and we are family. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. I hope that answered your question in a positive way.
What's an opinion you have that might piss some people off?
I don't think white people should adopt black kids. Let me tell you my background so you know why. I grew up in Oregon, adopted by white people. When I was 9 or 10, I met my first black person. When I was 14, I moved to an even whiter town where there were 3 black people, me and my siblings. I have spent years working through my trauma and my defense mechanisms, my conditioning that happened from all of the microaggressions, the gaslighting, the manipulations. And the biggest part of my trauma was my parents unvalidating my experiences and making me feel like it was my fault, because they had no understanding that those things were happening to me because of my skin color. Full disclosure, I am aware that it's not every single white person, but my husband grew up in the town over from me, and it happened to him as well, and he's from Africa. His experiences are way worse. I'll make more videos. Like and comment if you are interested.
Now, the sister's commentary sheds light on the crucial issues surrounding the adoption of black children by palm-color parents. Now, I feel her points are not only valid, but also essential for consideration in today's society. Firstly, the notion that I don't see color is a problem. As she astutely points out, this approach ignores the harsh realities of racism and the significance of racial identity. By neglecting to acknowledge their black children's racial background, parents may inadvertently overlook the unique challenges and experiences their black children will face in society where racism persists. Moreover, the sister raises a vital question about how these parents will explain racial differences and discrimination to their children when they encounter them. Now, this is a critical concern, as black children need guidance and support to navigate a society that often marginalizes them. A sister highlights the importance of exposure to diverse communities and experiences. Black children need to interact with people who share their racial identity and cultural background to develop a strong sense of self and belonging. Isolating them from these connections can lead to a disconnection from their heritage and identity. Now, I feel a sister's commentary serves as a vital reminder that we must confront and address the complexities of race and racism head on. We cannot assume that love and good intentions alone are enough. We must also acknowledge and respect the unique experiences and identities of black children. By listening to and learning from the sister's insights, I feel palm-color people can work towards a more inclusive and equitable society for all. Now, palm-color parents adopting black children need to recognize that they need to have the cultural competence to fully understand and support their child's racial identity. This requires ongoing learning, self-reflection, and seeking guidance from black communities. The sister's commentary highlights the power imbalance between palm-color adoptive parents and black children. Palm-color parents must acknowledge and address how their privilege and positionality impact their relationship with their child. Black children need to see themselves represented in media, literature, and their surroundings. Palm-color parents should actively seek out diverse materials and experiences to help their child feel seen and valued. Black children's hair and beauty standards are often marginalized or erased, so palm-color parents should learn about and celebrate black hair and beauty, promoting self-love and acceptance. Black children may experience intergenerational trauma from historical events like slavery, segregation, and ongoing systemic racism. It is the duty of palm-color parents to educate themselves about this history and its impact on their child's life. Black children need connections to black communities and spaces where they belong. Palm-color parents should prioritize building relationships with black people and communities to support their child's sense of belonging. And palm-color parents must actively work to dismantle racism in their own lives and parenting practices. This includes addressing biases, confronting racist behaviors, and advocating for racial justice. Palm-color parents should prioritize listening and amplifying black voices rather than speaking over or for them. This helps center black experiences and perspectives. Now, let me share an article by Karen Voldy, a writer who lives in Austin, Texas. She and her husband, who are palm-color, have 2 adopted daughters, one Ethiopian and one African American. Now, the title of this article is The Realities of Raising a Kid of a Different Race. As transracial adoption becomes more common, here is what every parent should know. Now, Robin Weiss believed she went into the adoption of her Ethiopian son with eyes wide open. She and her husband, Timoth, a police officer and army veteran who served 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, brought Ben home when he was 4 years old. Now, the Weiss are palm-color, a multicultural Big Ten university town, and have gone to some effort to create a diverse environment for their son and 3 biological daughters. Wells knew that raising a black son wouldn't always be easy. I figured I'd have to explain some name calling, have had talks about language, navigate the waters when somebody's parent won't let my son take their daughter to prom. She says, but what I've been surprised by is this. At no point in the process of considering transracial adoption did I think I would have to teach my son how to stay alive. First, she says of her awakening. There was the pew-pewing of Trayvon Martin in 2012. At the time, Ben was a 6-year-old boy who had just learned to ride his bike after only 2 trips up and down the driveway, with his father running alongside him. It was awful, says Wells, but I thought, as every palm color privileged parent wants to think, maybe this is an isolated incident. As events quickly proved, it was not. Now, many families struggle with the question Wells is facing. How do palm color adoptive parents help their children of color and black children thrive? Today, more than 40% of adoptions are transracial in nature, according to a recent survey from the Department of Health and Human Services. Now, this is up from 28% in 2004. Transracial adoption has become a common enough sight in celebrity tabloids that since my husband and I adopted our daughters, a 1-year-old Ethiopian in 2009 and a newborn African American last October, we have endured many unfunny jokes about being on trend. In our own adoption training, I mostly remember sitting in our agency's room with other prospective palm color parents, nibbling on fruit and cheese, listening to palm color people talk about race. The main takeaways were either aesthetic in nature about the practicalities of black hair and skincare, or hopelessly broad. On the advice of an African American friend, Wells has chosen to start having some hard conversations with her now 8-year-old son, Ben. Even though she does it in the car so that he doesn't have to see her tears, her insistence on these talks has created friction with her police officer husband. Timothy, who explained by email that his job as Ben's father is to raise Ben to be a good man. The other part of my job is to balance my wife's education. I don't want Ben to ever be afraid of police or to ask for their help. Now, this is just an example of what raising children of a different race comes with. Raising children of a different race requires more than just good intentions. It demands a deep understanding of the complexities of race and racism. It's not enough for palm color parents to simply not see color when the world around them does. Now, this approach can actually do more harm than good, as it ignores the very real experiences of racism and discrimination that children of color and black children face. Rather, palm color parents must be willing to have difficult conversations with their children about race, racism, and identity. They must be able to confront their own biases and privilege and work to create a safe and inclusive environment for their children to thrive. Now, this means educating themselves about the history and ongoing impacts of racism, as well as actively seeking out diverse perspectives and experiences. It's not enough to simply love your child. You must also be willing to listen to and amplify their voice, even when it's difficult. You must be able to confront the harsh realities of racism and discrimination and work to dismantle them in your own life and in the world around you. Raising children of a different race requires a commitment to ongoing learning, growth, and self-reflection. It's a journey of love, support, and advocacy. By taking this journey, palm color parents can help their children of color and black children thrive in a world that often seeks to marginalize and oppress them. We have finally come to the end of the video. What do you have to say? Share your thoughts as well in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.